So, I don't know, perhaps that was just good enough for it. And we are going to go into our possible match point for ZvZ. He's done a really good job so far, and it looks like we're going to go straight into it again for Betrayus. He's picked another map again. It is going to be the last map, well, sort of the last of the non-replicated maps, or duplicated maps. It is going to be Antigua Shipyard, starting at the top left-hand side as our Yellow Zerg player, of course. He's going to need to come back and win a couple of games because he is down a couple now. It is Frenetic Array's Betrayus. And down at the bottom right-hand side as our Blue Zerg player, playing for Team NV. If he can take this particular match, then he is going to take this set. He's going to win that golden mouse with the keyboards on the side and the cool giant check. And we'll obviously get to interview both of the players afterwards, just keep in mind, so stay tuned to the stream. It is NVJazbas. Alrighty guys, so it is on. Actually, you know, it's so much on that I need to fix a starboard. There you go. So the score is currently 3-1 for ZvZ, sitting in a very good prediction. Interesting change of your prediction there from Saviour. Changing his 4-3 victory for Pet, apparently. So you guys let me know what your original prediction was, whether you thought it was going to be a win for Betrayus, 4-0 or something like that, or if you thought ZvZ was going to be able to do it from the start. Post in the chat and tell me if you think you should change that now, or if you think you're going to stick with it. If you think that Betrayus was going to win 4-3, who knows, perhaps you might be right on the ball. Thank you. Rogue is cray cray. Thank you, that's perfect. Anyway, so Betrayus is going to go for his spawning pool first. Of course, just being very safe. Of course, this map is a very interesting one. I find there's quite a lot of room to sort of get inside the main. Of course, a lot of players you sort of get in a situation where you need to defend this this natural base here, and right at the start, you can't necessarily just sort of come straight up here and defend this this whole ramp, because there's so much room. If you have one spine crawler there and a couple of lings bust through, then you're not really going to get a great defense going. So some players will sort of get a spine going here, perhaps an evo chamber if you really want to and you're afraid of some sort of run by, and then later on, once the creep starts to move a little bit forward, sometimes you can see them move out the defenses a little bit to the ramp. Of course, when you get a third base up, that can also change things, so we'll see how it's all going to play out. Gas going up for Betrayus. Of course, he's going to be able to get his speed around about, or in fact, it's actually going to be a little bit further behind where ZvZ is. Jazz has already got his going. His spawning pool just finishing up, so he's going to be a little bit later on his queen, but not to worry, because, of course, he's got his hatchery faster. So he's going to have those two queens out. Betrayus is he's just about to finish up with that hatchery here, so he'll be able to get a second queen. In fact, of course, he's going to get it at the main base. That's what I meant to say. I was just testing you guys. And yeah, so we're sort of still just waiting for any sort of a sign of deviation here between these guys, because it's sort of just at a situation where it's sort of the same. As we can see, the speed is probably going to get started now for Betrayus. There it is, so he's going to pick up that. We'll obviously keep an eye on how much gas is continuing to come out of here. Perhaps he'll go for a little bit more of an offensive build. Generally, most of these games, he's actually been a little bit more defensive than you know, I kind of expected of him. But either way, just reading some of the chat now that you guys are caught up to what I said 2 minutes ago about predictions, and there's some interesting results from what you guys are saying. Anyway, Bailey Nest is coming on the way here from both players. As we can see, ZvZ is going to be a little bit further ahead. He's actually building 16 links, so he's deciding that it may be go time right about now. He's got 18 on the way. His speed is almost finished as well. I doubt he's going to be able to get too much damage done, but it looks like he is going to go for a very, very heavy bailing pressure here. We'll have to see how hard he goes at it. He is building 4 more drones, so I don't think he's going to necessarily commit to this. He just wants to see if his opponent has skimped out. Maybe if Betrayus just sort of skimped out on the Banes, perhaps he got them a little bit late, perhaps he messed up some of his macros, something like that. He might be able to catch up and catch his opponent off guard. But as we can see, Betrayus is going to be well defended. He's going to have a couple of Banelings here. We've got the Roach Warren also on the way, so that bids well for him if he is going to transition across to those Roaches after this defense has been successfully mounted. But looks like the Queen's going to come out just to have a quick poke to see if they can find where those Banelings are. They are actually morphing just down to the side. It's only 4 Banes, it's not a huge amount, so Betrayus is not going to need to go too heavy on his defense right here, but he may be just a little bit suspicious right now, of course, because Jazbaz has been just absolutely phenomenal with his heavy aggression, but it looks like the Bane's going to try and catch up with the rest of them, but Bane for Bane, not the greatest trade there, and it looks like Betrayus will be all good for the moment. He's up to 34 drones at the moment, 38 for Jazbaz, and continuing on to macro up. As I said, not a huge committal to some very heavy aggression there, but what it did was just make sure that that Betrayus was spending some of his resources on those Banes, spending it a little bit on his Lings as well, and we'll now have to see how Jazbaz is going to continue on. It looks like he's finally getting his lair up now. Betrayus is going to be quite far ahead of him in that regard. Oh, sorry, they're actually going at the same time. I don't know, that animation looked like it came up just then. I don't know what's going on. Perhaps I'm, I don't know, perhaps I'm imagining things. It may happen. Either way, Roaches what is going to be produced by Betrayus. He's got 7 of them on the way at the moment. They've got +1 missile attacks, around about around about a third done, not 2/3. I'll get my fractions right. So he's going to try and push across the map, perhaps with a few of those, or at least make sure he's got good defense with that. Looks like Jazz is just going to get his 3rd base up behind all of this, and it looks like he's going to just make sure that's protected with some Banes as well. And he is going to go for the Spire, so we will see that the Mushroom Tower come out from Jazbaz. He's going to try and just sort of keep Betrayus on his toes. As we can see, these Lings not going to get a huge amount done just because of those Banes already being out. There are Roaches at the top of the ramp as well, 8 of them to be exact, 7 more about to pop out. So I think that Betrayus is looking to go for some sort of timing here, and we'll see if Jazbaz is going to be prepared for it. He does have an Overseer just poking around. He wants to see what that Roach Warren is doing. He wants to see what the Evo Chamber is doing. The Evo Chamber is pulsating away there, and he will be able to see some of those Roaches that are also just produced as well. So we'll have to see if Betrayus is going to get anything done here. It's a very, very strong attack that's going to come along. Of course, this is a very common thing to see in Zerg versus Zerg, is that Roach versus Mutas sort of situation where the Roaches are going to get across, they're going to get here, and they're going to say, alright, we're going to do quite a lot of damage, but are we going to do enough before the Mutas hatch? And Jazbaz is going to put his own sort of defense on this. He's going to say, alright, we're going to put up 1 billion spine crawlers. In fact, 1 billion is roughly 9 if you work it out, because that's how much that one is working out. But anyway, so Jazz is going to have a whole bunch of spines here, ready to defend against all these Roaches that are now popping through. The question will be, will the angle be enough? Will Betrayus be able to snipe down some of these spines one by one, or will he try and have to face them all in a row? Looks like he will be able to get a few of them, and he does get 2, maybe even 3. Will he be able to force his way behind the natural mineral line? And he does. The drones come out and try and hold position to just try and sit there and block out the Roaches. The Mutas are now out. They're going to get, they're of course eventually going to be able to kill all these Roaches, but of course get that macro ready, because it is the one big question of at what cost. And the Mutas are now out. We've got a total of 12 Mutas out for Jazbaz. He's going to be able to clean up the rest of these Roaches. Good work done by him. Of course, this means that Betrayus is going to be able to prepare for those Mutas, because they sat back inside the natural base for a little bit longer there, and he will be able to get these spores up. So he should be relatively okay to deal with these Mutas for the time being. And as you can see, because Jazz got that 3rd base up, wow, actually, Betrayus hasn't actually seen the 3rd base there. I'm very surprised about that. But either way, Mutas now going to sweep inside the 3rd base, cleaning that one out. So Jazz is going to be up 1 base, and of course that means he's going to be up a little bit in the drones as well. As we can see, 51 drones to 40 at the moment. So Jazz looking relatively good right now. I don't sort of want to call it at all, because that's a very terrible way to sort of do things, especially when it comes to Zerg versus Zerg. But wow, beautiful work by Jazbaz, throwing down the old Contaminate on top of the the infestation pit to slow down that production of the pathogen glands there from Petraeus. I really like seeing that. I seriously, everyone tells me, yeah, everybody does it all the time, but I don't actually see people doing Contaminate enough. Like, I think it's a really powerful spell that should be used a little bit more, especially in this matchup. Anyway, enough of Duck's opinions on Zerg versus Zerg 101, because we do have a little bit of an attack here for Petraeus. Of course, Jazz is not going to commit too hard to those mutas. He's just got the mutas out that he had initially. They're just going to try and deny this third base, maybe kill off a couple of these queens. He's trying to split them up to make sure the fungal doesn't do too much. But the roaches of Petraeus do get inside the third, get a couple of kills. The drone kill count looking good for Petraeus right now, but the question will be, is he going to be able to keep his third base alive? Because the infestors are actually being picked off by some of these mutas. Very nicely done. The infested Terrans now, of course, doing extra damage there. They've got their +1 that they inherited from those roaches, so he's going to be looking quite good with that damage. But it is time. I think JazbZ is getting prepared for the big push. He's got 1-1 almost finished up for those roaches. Those 2 Evo chambers are being pumping away. Of course, roach speed is all ready to go. Meanwhile, back at home for Petraeus, his third base just about to finish up now. The roaches trying to hide from those mutas, but they're not going to really hide too far. Infested Terranet goes down really quick. Wow, of course, because of that recent change. And here we go. Looks like the roach count has been beefed up quite a large amount by JazbZ. He's up to 33 right now. This is going to be a big fight here. Infestors are going to be a bit of a key, but of course they've had to waste some of their energy dealing with those mutas. And here we go. Looks like Petraeus is just going to have to try and defend at the top of the ramp here. The fungal goes off. Only a couple of infested Terrans just across to the side, and the roach count looking pretty good for JazbZ right now. He's up to 18. Of course, a lot of those are still just joining up with the battle now, down to 15, 13, evening out for Petraeus. He will have those reinforcements that are going to come in a little bit quicker because they are right next to his base, and he will be able to hold back a small amount here. But again, that sort of question that will annoy us is, will he be able to fend off efficiently? And it looks like he's done a relatively good job, but losing those infestors is not good at all. Takes Petraeus down to 4 infestors, but as we see, he fends it off. He's got his third base going now. Inject's going up. He's going to grab those extra gas as well. And JazbZ, of course, being the very aggressive player, is not done just yet. He's got 16 more 18 now roaches being produced right now. He's got 1-1. He's looking pretty good with his upgrades, but of course Petraeus does have +2 on his weapons. The infestor still is going to try and get a couple more out. Just squeeze a few more of those out. Of course, you want to be very careful with that production. Don't want to go too hard on those infestors, because sometimes if you have too many of them, then perhaps that might not be too good if the roaches are able to surround and kill a few of those down. And it looks like, wow, Jazz just forcing his way right in the front of Petraeus there, and he's going to hack down quite a lot of those roaches. It looks like Jazz is going to be able to force his way through here. Will the Fungals be able to protect the main base, or will he lose here in this particular battle? Of course, keep in mind, this is possibly the last game if Jazz can win this one, which it is starting to look like he may. He's going to be our winner of Barcraft New Zealand for 2012 Season 1. The Infestor's coming along, trying to get some damage done. There is an Overseer here, but that's actually Petraeus, so he's not going to be able to find it. And there you go, Petraeus, GG, well played. JazbZ is your winner for Season 1 of the Barcraft New Zealand 2012 League thing that we've been having all year. Fantastic job by Jazz, and as you can see there, a little congratulations from the players at the venue. And wow, what a crazy set of games. We had some interesting all-ins. We had the Jerry build. We had some Mutafights. We had a couple of base trades. What a really fun set of games between these two guys, of course, showcasing that really high-level Zerg skill that is present on the C server. With all of you guys there, of course, there's a lot of you C Zerg players in chat. You know, of course, we expect to see these awesome games from you guys. So, really well done. Of course, JazbZ with that win, 4-1, doing a great job. So, what we'll do is we will have a look to see. Of course, I did mention there is going to be a giant. There is a giant check for the winner, which is pretty cool. And there is also that trophy with the keyboards and the golden mouse, and it looks really cool. So we'll see that very soon. What I'm going to do is make sure that you can all see the restream of the actual final thing there. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a quick break while I wait to hear the official word on what's going on with those interviews and those final comments from the players. So stick with us, we'll be back very soon with those interviews and the trophies.
But now, unfortunately, ZvZ has snuck his way in at the end of the season. So, congratulations to you both. You both had some really awesome matches. It's been a pleasure hosting tournaments for you guys, and I hope you enjoyed it. And so, yeah, Mac, congratulations. Well played. You had a great season, dude. Second place.
Well, he said that I was going to do it.
You won so many episodes. Great. Sweet. And Thomas, well resumed, it was well played. Good comeback. Saving the best of the line. Good stuff. And yes, your trophy for the season. Thanks, man. So, yeah, this was guys on stream. Thanks for watching us today. Thanks to Duckball for casting for us. Thanks to Mac and Thomas for putting on a great tournament today. And most of all, thank you to our Barcraft crew who made a lot of effort to get through the season. Things have come a long way since February. But also thank you majorly to Playtech for helping us put on the event today at this location, and also for helping fund our prizes throughout this whole Barcraft year, really. So, yeah, if you're online, please go say thank you to Playtech for all you've done for us, and also go say thank you to Telstra for the support they've shown us throughout the year as well. So, thanks for joining us. Thanks, guys, and we'll hopefully see you guys next season. Yeah?
Woo.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Alright, so we're having the interviews shortly, I believe. So what I'll do is I'm just going to keep the stream there, and you guys will be able to see it shortly, and I'll just mute myself because, you know, there's no point listening to me. Let me just make sure all of this is all set so it's looking alright. Oops. Okay.
What do you think would help the New Zealand scene?
More participation. I don't know how you get that, but that's the goal.
Cool, and it's coming to the end of the year for Barcraft. What are your plans for next year?
Well, tomorrow I've got AM stage 3, so I do well on that and I go to Poland, but yeah, it's going to be tough. And then there's probably not many tournaments until next year.
Cool, well, congratulations on winning $200 and your record throughout the year. Of course, we won our 3 offline events and our online event. So we look forward to having you back next year for more tournaments.
Thank you.
Do you want to say anything to your team or sponsors?
Yep. Shout out to America Ray, with my team, and our sponsors, Razor and Thanks for memory. Game Creators.
Awesome. Alright. And ZvZ, our victor for today, how do you feel right now?
Feel great.
You've had some pretty awesome tournament success in the past, but recently you seem to have lost a few games to Tech. How does it feel to finally come back and win?
Don't know how much I
Yep. How is the new team going? You recently joined Game5 NV and was played in the EV Expo.
Oh, it's great because the most of the practice that I have is not that I actually really playing as other players want to see. It's been great to see the practice getting more and so very good.
Cool. And what are your plans for the next year?
Do well to study, but also travel as much as I can and enjoy it.
You attended ACL Sydney and won the Open Bracket. Are you looking to attend more ACL events next year?
I think my boss is going to do a really good which I really appreciate.
Cool. And NV recently went to MRG Dallas. We had very good teammate failure there. Is there any plans for NV to attend any more international events and will you go into those?
I'm pretty sure that I'll be going with them, and I think there is not detailed plan, but there is like a rough plan to go to Korea or something.
Cool. Well, we look forward to having you back next year in our events. Well done today and congratulations. Is there anything you want to say to your team sponsors?
I'd like to thank all my sponsors, Game5, and the DOS teammates, and all the New Zealand players, and Barcraft people, and
Cool, thank you very much, Jazz. And once again, a massive thank you to Play Team and Health Clear.
Alright, so that's the end of that for today. Thank you guys for tuning in. It has been a whole bunch of fun. Of course, Zerg versus Zerg, one of the big things we do see in the C scene. Hopefully, the rest of you guys, I believe that next season, starting out whenever it is, sometime next year, Rogue can confirm, the actual competition will comprise of all of both Wellington and New York, Auckland. So it'll be an even bigger and better season next season. Hopefully all you guys can go down to the events, join in at the local barcrafts and that sort of stuff. And of course, thank you to Telstra Clear and Playtech for helping out with the events this year, and of course this big one as well. And congratulations to ZvZ, and you know, of course, our runner-up there, Petraeus, as well. Some really good games. So I hope you enjoyed all that. I'm going to be streaming some more Counter-Strike Go very soon, so you guys can laugh at me when I play that. Other than that, have a good Saturday night, and I'll see you all next time.